Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're tackling a massive myth that honestly holds so many of us back. You know the one? The idea that being broke is just a math problem, that you just aren't earning enough money. But what if I told you some of the most expensive financial mistakes you're making right now actually look completely harmless on the surface? We're going to map out exactly how small, everyday decisions might be quietly costing you tens of thousands, and more importantly, how you can stop the bleeding.
So, let's just confront the elephant in the room. Why, despite making decent money and working incredibly hard day in and day out, do you still feel like you have absolutely nothing left at the end of the month? It's incredibly frustrating, right? And the scary part is, most of us don't even realize how much our tiny financial choices are actually costing us, mostly because they just don't seem dangerous on their own. No alarm bells go off. But repeated over years, they are quietly devastating.
Let's put a real number on this. $1,800. That is what a seemingly harmless $5 daily convenience quietly drains from you every single year. I mean, a $5 purchase doesn't feel important in the moment, right? It feels completely insignificant. But repeated daily, it's a massive leak in your wallet. You are literally bleeding over $1,800 a year. And remember, that's just one single habit. Just imagine dozens of these little expenses happening every single month without you even noticing.
Which brings us to trap number 1, convenience and ego, also known as the frictionless spending trap.
We live in a world that's meticulously designed to make spending your money easier than ever before. It's literally death by 1,000 cuts. We're talking frictionless one-click buys, forgotten subscriptions, and those daily $5 treats. You don't even have to physically hand over cash anymore. It's just one click, a quick tap on your phone, buy now, pay later. And when spending doesn't feel physically or emotionally painful, you inherently spend way more. You sign up for a free trial, totally forget to cancel it, $10 here, $15 there, individually, harmless. But together, they're costing you hundreds annually. Half the time, we don't even know what we're still paying for.
And that feeds right into a massive part of this trap, lifestyle inflation. Picture this. You get a raise at work, your salary goes up, and you feel like, finally, I can afford a better lifestyle. So what happens next? Well, you move into a slightly more expensive apartment, you upgrade your car, you start eating at fancier restaurants, and suddenly, your expenses have completely swallowed your new income. The devastating result here is that you work harder, you earn more, but your actual financial situation barely changes at all. You still have nothing left. And this completely fuels the ego trap, because there is a huge, stark contrast between looking rich and actually being wealthy. Think about it. Are you buying that designer jacket, the luxury vacation, or the newest phone because you truly want it? Or is it because you want other people to think you're successful? So many people go into deep debt just trying to look successful to others. The guy driving that expensive sports car might actually be drowning in thousands of dollars of debt, while the person driving a 10-year-old ordinary sedan might have hundreds of thousands of dollars invested in real assets. Looking rich and being wealthy are fundamentally not the same thing.
All right, moving on to trap number 2, the future tax, or borrowing from tomorrow.
The crucial point here is this really powerful realization. Tomorrow's money is paying for yesterday's decisions. When you use debt to buy something right now, you are quite literally borrowing from your future self. Your future income is already being spent before you even have the chance to clock in and earn it. And the more future income you spend today, the absolute less freedom you're going to have later on. Just consider the whole life cycle of credit card debt. You make the purchase today, sure, but because you're only making those minimum payments, you're locking yourself into years of monthly bills. Debt doesn't always feel expensive at the very beginning. A small monthly minimum payment looks, well, highly affordable. But those small minimums continue for years, quietly destroying your wealth behind the scenes. The interest you are paying month after month is money that could have been saved, invested, or used to actually build your future. Instead, your future gets less money and your future freedom is just gone.
Now let's dive into trap number 3, financial blind spots and the high cost of ignorance.
These financial blind spots might honestly be the most expensive mistakes of the bunch. Look, financial education isn't about becoming some hotshot Wall Street expert. You don't need a finance degree. You really just need to understand the basic rules of the game to protect your own wallet. We're talking about understanding just enough about interest rates, fees, debt, and compound growth. Because here's the reality. If you don't understand money, banks, credit card companies, and salespeople absolutely do. When you don't know the rules, you quietly lose money to them without even realizing it's happening. Financial education is simply a shield around your wealth.
A perfect example of this kind of ignorance is delaying your investments. The trap is telling yourself, oh, I'll invest when I earn more money. People say this all the time, but then they earn more and they repeat the exact same excuse. The truth is, time is one of the single most powerful forces in investing. You do not need thousands of spare dollars, you just need consistency. Early, consistent, small amounts are far more powerful because money invested earlier has way more time to grow and compound. The biggest mistake isn't starting small. Actually, scratch that. The biggest mistake is just waiting forever.
Okay, so how do we fix this? Let's get into the resolution. Plugging your financial leaks. Now that we've dragged these hidden traps out into the light, let's stop the bleeding and take back control. Your very first action item is to audit your biggest financial leaks. Like literally, pull up your bank account today. Look at every single recurring payment. If you haven't used a subscription in the last 30 days, honestly ask yourself if you really need it. Look closely at your high-interest debt, expensive car payments, excessive housing costs, and those late-night impulse purchases. But remember, and this is so important, please don't try to fix everything all at once. That is completely overwhelming.
Instead of stressing out, just pick the 3 biggest problems you just identified and execute this super simple, highly actionable 3-step plan. Step 1, cancel what you don't need. Step 2, aggressively pay down that expensive, high-interest debt. And Step 3, control your lifestyle inflation the next time your income goes up. By following just these 3 steps, you immediately start directing your hard-earned money away from those leaks and straight towards your future.
Because the grand takeaway is this: financial freedom isn't created by magically finding one massive secret investment. It is all about compounding. Small money mistakes, like losing $10 today, compound into thousands lost over a decade. But on the flip side, small, smart decisions, saving a little more, investing a little earlier, spending a little less, those also compound over time into massive wealth. Your financial future is being built by the tiny decisions you repeat. Every single paycheck, every purchase, every single month.
So, before you spend your very next dollar, I want you to ask yourself this final, critical question. Am I buying something that makes me look rich today, or am I building something that makes me financially free tomorrow? Because the difference between those two choices isn't just about a few dollars. It could literally change your entire life. Thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer, and remember, small, smart decisions today create your absolute freedom tomorrow.